You moving in, it's nice you're able to move in together.
So happy to see you guys here on a Monday morning. We just ended a series based on the koshas. And last week I brought in those Russian stackable dolls as a demonstration to show you all the different layers, taking one out at a time. And we talked about the first layer being the Anandamaya kosha, the physical body, what's visible to the eye, what's tangible to touch. The second layer becomes more subtle and more invisible, and it's the energetic body. It's the breath. And we moved into the third portion, which was the mind stuff, the mind chatter, the mental dialogue, our perceptions, our thoughts, our fantasies, our daydreams, our memory recall, even our emotions. And then we talked about the fourth layer being the layer of discernment, that layer of wisdom or intuition, which is like even more subtle from just the mental chatter. And then the fifth layer we spoke of last week, which is the Anandamaya kosha, which is the bliss body. It's that feeling of ecstasy or deep, profound peace that we can experience when we finally get arrived into that state of meditation, or when we really drop into that state of relaxation and are completely present and in that state of being. And that touches the true essence of who we are, which is the soul. Now in Sanskrit, or in yogic terms, we call this the Atman. The Atman is the soul. The Atman is the higher self. The Atman is the expression of the divine. The Atman is the spark of divinity that resides within us, that is infinite, that is eternal. And so the practices of yoga and meditation are supposed to help us to tune in to this idea. Because if you're a person that, is maybe on the cusp of, disbelief that even exists, the idea is to use this practice to do your own scientific experimentation, because you can only really know if you have firsthand experience with it. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to discover the part of ourselves that's ego-based and the part of ourselves that's soul-based. And to recognize there is matter as well as spirit. And so that is the pretty much theme for today, is to tap into that essence of the soul, as it is our aim every time we come to the mat. So Beth asked for a hip opener, and I usually love hip openers, but we don't have a lot of hip openers planned in this practice. So since she asked for it, we're just going to go ahead and start in a breathing practice with a hip opener. So if you want to use props for your reclined butterfly, you can. Maybe a bolster under your thighs or blocks under the knees. Or you can be more freestyling in a yin manner without the use of props. Bringing the soles of the feet together, the knees fan open, and the hands turned open beside you. Even though we're turning the palms and the hips open, and we're trying to open the heart and mind, we're actually closing the eyes. So close your eyes. And start to tune in physically to your body. This pose is not just a hip opener, even though I know that's where you're probably going to feel the sensation. You may feel it through the inner thighs. So instead of gripping through those muscles, try to release those muscles to gain the benefit of it opening. This is also a great way to bring circulation, more blood flow, and more energy flow into the reproductive organs and towards the bladder, really everything that exists at the pelvic floor. Start to move beyond the physical sensation now by evoking the breath and calling up the breath. Deepening the breath, bringing it under your command. Increasing that intake of oxygen into your lungs. And freely allowing those toxins to escape. Allow the breath to help to subdue the mind. So that your thoughts are not so dominant. Let your breath nourish you from the inside out. Knowing that we can oxygenate the bloodstream, that can go to every cell in the body. And then I want you to set your intention to use this practice to really dive deep, to go within, to reconnect, and to get to know yourself at a really intimate level. This is meant to be a contemplative practice, to know ourselves at the psychological level, at the emotional level, at the physical level, at the spiritual level. The whole goal and aim of yoga is for us to awaken and to liberate ourselves. So let's free up the mind, let's free up the body, and let's free up our spirit. On your next in-breath, let's go ahead and turn the knees up, flat the soles of the feet to the ground. Cross your left ankle over the right thigh. Pick up your right foot, place your hands behind your leg, and gently draw it in. Keep your low back anchored down to the ground. Notice how the sensation is similar but different than before. Take one last deep breath. Exhale, maybe pull in slightly more. And then exhale, release. Stamp your left foot back to the mat. Cross your right ankle over the left knee. Pick up that left foot and move into eye of the needle pose. Keeping the dorsiflexion through the ankles to protect the ligaments of the knees. Take one last deep breath. And exhale, release. Once you release, you're going to roll over to one side of your body, and we're going to join each other in tabletop position. So from a tabletop position, check in with your knees in case you need more padding. Solidify your hands below your shoulders. Point your toes to the back side of the room, pushing down through your shins, ankles, and feet. Press down through your palms to create long, strong arms, and feel how the muscles engage at your core when you really anchor down through the foundation of your body.
Now imagine that you're on the center of a clock, you're facing 12, your hands are gonna walk to the right side to what would face the imaginary 1 and 2. Your right hand's not gonna move, but that elbow's gonna bend as your left arm extends out and you're gonna drop about halfway down. Suction cup your hands to the floor, pressing forward with your right hand and drawing back with your left. Breathe into that left side, into your left lung. A really awesome way to flush out the lymph nodes in the pits of the arms and to drain the lymphatic tissues in the chest. Also opening up the side body, stretching out the side waist, the side lats. On your next in-breath, go ahead and lift up. Walk your hands across the sticky mat to the imaginary 10 and 11. Your left hand will stay the short hand of the clock. Your right arm's gonna extend forward and you're gonna spill down about halfway. We're not trying to go all the way to the floor. This may be plenty for you sensation-wise, but if you want to amp it up, suction cup your hands, pushing forward with left, drawing back with the right. Breathing into your right side body, especially into your right lung. Make sure the breath stays consistent. On your next inhale, rise up, bring it back to tabletop. And on your inhale, you're gonna roll open into that saddle effect through your back, lifting the crown of your head and your chin, cow tilt. Exhale, you're rounding it to your cat stretch, tailbone dips, belly pulls in, head bows. Inhale, return to Vittalasana, cow tilt. Exhale, curl your toes, draw the navel in, and then pick up the knees and power back to downward facing dog. Be here for an extra breath. Lengthening and extending as much as you can through your arms and spine. And on your next inhale, sink down to your knees, untuck the toes, roll open, cow tilt. Exhale, round it to your cat stretch. Hollow out the belly and chest. Inhale, cow. Exhale, toes tuck, navel pulls in first, then lengthen into downward facing dog. Hold and breathe. Inhale to knees, open your heart and throat, cow. Exhale, cat stretch, Mayurasana. Inhale, cow. Exhale, curl the toes, navel pulls in first, then launch into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. From Adho Mukha Svanasana, inhale, come forward to your plank. Fly up with your right foot, flying plank. Exhale back to Ekapada Adho Mukha Svanasana. Good, inhale, flying plank, shoulders restack over wrist, head stays up. Exhale, lengthen the right leg up and back behind you. Good, now swing the right foot forward and up between your hands. Really solidify that front foot so that you can balance as you rise to your crescent lunge. Arms framing the ears. Front knee lunging. Stay on the ball of the back foot. Opening up that iliopsoas. Gaze straight ahead with your eyes. Find something to gaze at. Even notice when you're here and breathing well, the spine will spring up, making you taller on the inhale, and you'll settle and spill just a little on the exhale. On your next inhale, rise up, and as you exhale, twist to the right, separate your arms. Good, drop the right arm close to the hip, and then inhale, bring it forward and back up to crescent. Exhale, hands down. Good, step into plank. From your plank position, fly up with your left foot, splay through the toes. You got it, exhale. Ekka Pada Adho Mukha Svanasana, that means one leg in downward facing dog. Inhale, flying plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg stays suspended. Good, now swing the foot through between the hands. Firmly plant it down and come up to crescent. Chin parallel to the earth. Fixating your eyes on something stationary. And breathe. Notice that little spring action, it's subtle. That's what we're trying to notice at an energetic level. Inhale, you're springing up. Exhale, you're twisting to the left and settling back in. To send your left hand down towards your hip. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Good, exhale, hands come down to the floor. Step it up to the top. Open up your heart center. And exhale, lower it. So let's let your head hang, let your arms hang free. We just entered into spring. We just had the new moon in Aries. And I think last week I made the mistake of calling it a full moon. It's a new moon. Both of these energies are trying to help us to spring forward. To take proper steps, to take right action. You may be feeling that held inside, you may have already taken those initial steps. You may be waiting for the green light or for a little bit more clarity. But affirm mentally within, nothing and no one on this earth can hold me down or back from fulfilling my purpose and mission of being here on this planet at this time. As you inhale, sweep the arms to your sides and up overhead. When you come to this stance, you're gonna really drill the feet down, line up and lock in your legs, draw up through the navel, arms reaching upward towards the sunlight. And I want you to imagine a beam of light coming down from the heavens, down through your entire body, and grounding you here. Hands together and then fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, lift halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Now focus here on pulling the ears or shoulders back away from the ears so that that space behind the heart can really open up instead of rounding it out. Good. Exhale, drop back in. Inhale, we're taking plank. All right, from the plank position, you're gonna rock forward, lower down to your Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, bloom up to upward facing dog. And as you exhale, lower down to the belly. Slide your forearms out in front, and you're taking Sphinx. All right, so lift and lengthen each leg. Have the legs more parallel with one another. Kind of firm up through your buttocks. Retract through your navel. Push down through the forearms and open up the chest. And notice if your elbows are back, it's hard to open the chest because you're so low, which means the arms need to slide ahead. Find that comfortable position for your angle in your head and your neck. All of us will be a little bit different there. One last deep breath, drawing that prana up to the heart. Affirming to yourself mentally, I rise joyfully to greet each and every new opportunity. Exhale, roll down to the brow. Inhale, push up. And as you exhale, you're going to lower your left forearm down. And then hop your right hand in front of your left. So it was in front, now bring it back behind. All right, from here, push down through your shins, pull in through the belly, press down to the left forearm so that your head and your ear lift away from that shoulder. Gaze across the right shoulder, pick up the right leg, extend and fly it up and out, spreading the toes, reaching through the padding of the foot. All right, this is going to be the inhalation in this flow. As you exhale, you're bending the knee and drawing it in towards the right arm. Don't worry if it touches or not. Inhale, press back to the sole of the foot. Good, exhale, contract and draw it to your arm. Inhale, lift it up and out. Exhale, keep that knee held up very high as you draw it in towards your side body. Good, 2 more. Nice execution. I can tell you're being very intentional and mindful with this. This time after you inhale, splay it back, you're going to exhale, lower the right knee down, return to tabletop position. Then your right forearm comes down, hop the left hand in front of your left or right. I'm all mixed up today. Press down through shins and feet, draw in through your core, push down through the right forearm, lift the head, gaze over the left shoulder. When you're ready, pick up that left leg. Splay open through your toes. Keep the knee held up as you draw it in towards your side body. Inhale, lift it up and out. Exhale, contract and curl it in. 3 more. It's powerful when your breath is leading and guiding the movement instead of the other way around. The next time you inhale, lengthen the left leg back. As you exhale, scale down to the knee. Now stay on that right forearm and lower your left forearm to that Sphinx type position. Drop the belly, lift the head up, gaze out in the room. As you exhale, tuck the tailbone, round out the upper back and bow your head. So basically a cat-cow from this forearm positioning. Use that Ujjayi breath if possible, or some diaphragmatic breathing. 1 more. Now inhale, open the heart, lift the elbows, shift forward, curl your toes under, and launch into downward facing dog. From Adho Mukha Svanasana, we're going to lift the right leg up. Ekapada Adho Mukha Svanasana. We use this as part of our warm-up. Inhale, come forward, flying plank. Now inhale, right leg lifts, head lowered between the arms, and exhale, come back to flying plank. All right, 1 more. Lower the right foot, elevate your left foot, and do it to the left side. Just mindfully flowing back and forth between these 2 postures. Do one more. When you come back to flying plank, feel free to drop the left foot. Power back, downward facing dog. And when you're ready, stepping the feet forward towards the top of the mat. Come up halfway on arrival. Ardha Uttanasana, and then exhale, spill down, relax the shoulders and your neck. Nothing and no one on this earth can hold me down or back. I believe in miracles. Inhale, root down to rise up. Pausing here, becoming that column, not just with your body, but become that column of light. Hands together and humbly bow. We're going to keep this flow going. Separate the hands once you release. Inhale, sprout up halfway. Exhale, let go again. Inhale, let's take plank. Let's shift through to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, bloom up to upward facing dog. Exhale, let's just roll on back to downward facing dog. Now from Adho Mukha Svanasana, we're going to lower the left knee. You're going to start to like rock the shoulders forward in order to lower the left knee to the sticky mat. Keep your right foot back behind. All right, your left foot is going to cross over behind you as you roll down to the sole of the right foot and fly the right arm skyward, similar to a modified side plank. All right, so there may or may not be a lot of weight in your back foot. For now, I want you to put the pressure into your back foot. And now take that top arm and reach it over the ear towards the front of the room. Good. Now you have options. For instance, if you just need the stretch, be here. If you want to do a little bit of the core work, you're going to pick up the right knee. You're going to take a fist in your right hand, and you're going to draw the knee and the elbow towards each other. And then inhale, you're lengthening. The foot can hover or drop to the mat. And then exhale, you're contracting and curling again. Good, continue 3 more. Slow and steady. Last one. Inhale, once you extend the limbs, drop the right foot, shift your left shin back, step into downward facing dog. From Adho Mukha Svanasana, rock the shoulders forward to sink down to your right knee. The left toes are still tucked. Your right shin crosses behind you, your left foot rolls to the mat, and the left arm splays up in the air. Glue the back foot down for now. Use that right foot to help supply balance. Take a deeper side stretch. Lengthen the left arm across the face. Yogi's choice. You can stay and breathe here. Or you can start to contract, drawing the left elbow and knee towards each other. And then when you inhale, extend the limbs, the foot can hover or not, your choice. Exhale, pump it back in. Last one. Inhale, lower that left foot. Exhale, bring the right shin back as you lower the left hand. Step back, downward facing dog. From your Adho Mukha Svanasana, pick up your right leg. Eka Pada Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now come through flying plank. We're not doing as many. Take it back, downward facing dog. This time, right foot steps through and up between the hands. Coming up to your crescent. Again, we use this crescent as part of our warm-up, but we're adding it into the equation here as well. Inhale, grow a little taller. Exhale, twist to your right and settle down into your hips. Good, lower the right hand down, bring it forward and up. And then hands down. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Hold on the exhale. Inhale, flying plank. Good, take it back. One-legged downward facing dog. Now swing the left leg through. Plant the foot. When it's safe to rise, come up. Inhale, extend a little more. Exhale, rotate left. Lower the left arm. Inhale, draw it through and up. Exhale, hands down. Go ahead and spring the back foot forward. Open up through the heart. Exhale, seal the heart down. Breathe. We tend to carry some of the burdens of our past in the world in our back body. And this pose helps to open up the back body. So feel as though you're letting some burdens go. Inhale all the way up to the top. Urdhva Hastasana. Pause here, imagining that column of light coming down through your body as a landing line for your feet, connecting you to the earth. Exhale, palms together and humbly bow again. And keep this flowing. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, release belly, chest, face. Inhale, let's take plank. Exhale, shift forward, lower down to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, rise to Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. And exhale, rock and roll back to Adho Mukha Svanasana. Form that intimate relationship with your breath here. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, sink your knees. You're lowering your left forearm down like we did earlier. Your right hand's gonna slide back. You're gonna pick up the knees and flip to the outer edge of the left foot and fly the right hand up. So forearm side plank. If you want a hip opener, you can add in tree. Right foot to the calf. Right knee turning up to the sky. Exhale, bring the right hand down, spin out, lower to the front of your legs, lower to the rim of the pelvis, and come to Sphinx pose. We're building up to something here. Now, yesterday, I kind of tricked them out a little bit, but I'll go ahead and tell you guys, we're not going into forearm balance, okay? Usually when I do a lot of forearm stuff, it's like, yep, we're moving into feathered peacock or scorpion or something like that. But I'll go ahead and wipe that from your mental space, okay? We're building up to baby crow, which is forearm. It's an arm balance, but it's not as hard as crow. Or at least I don't think it's as hard Nice crow. We'll see when we get there. Legs shoot back. Pubic bone pushes down. Belly lifts up. Heart shines forward. Good. Exhale, come to the brow. Hands slide back. Let's take a quick child's pose first. So when you lift to table, keep your hands glued to the mat as you lean fingertips up towards your feet. Keep the elbows flying up, your arms rolling away from your face. The head may hover, it doesn't have to touch down. Breathe into the backside of your lungs. So we're going to stretch the shoulders a bit. So walk your elbows just a little closer together. Bring your hands to prayer position, lifting the hands up towards the sky, and the head may actually spill down a little lower at this point. It's okay if it doesn't. I want you to affirm mentally within that our prayer is for all of mankind to live in harmony and in peace. Our prayer is for all of mankind to live in harmony and in peace. Right? Our ego may not want that because our ego holds grudges and grievances, right? But the soulful side of ourselves would want that. Inhale, lift the head up. Rock forward to hands and knees. All right, we've got that forearm side plank. Right forearm down, let that left hand slide back. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, flip to the outer side of your right foot. And you have to push through the parts of your body that's touching down in order to keep the hips elevated. And then if you want to add in tree, I would bring the foot to the inner calf. Exhale, left hand down, roll that down to your thighs since we're close to the floor. Come back to space. So again, if your elbows are back, it's hard to get your chest up. So think about bone stacking here, shoulders over elbows. Heart up, head up, legs back, glutes strong. And now we're going to do what most women don't like to do, including myself, but I know we need it. Curl the toes, pop up, forearm plank. Not my favorite. Is it yours? If it makes you feel any better, I saw an 80-something-year-old woman doing this. She was fierce. She was doing it in high heels, you guys. All right, walk your feet forward and then keep your hips lifting and then power back away from your hands. Keep your head off the floor if possible. It's okay if your hair touches, just not your scalp. So you're pushing through your forearms to use your triceps, your deltoids, your core to keep you held in dolphin pose. All right, exhale, land your knees. Lift the elbows, shift forward, down dog. All right, we're almost through with our sun salve section. Let's lift the right leg up. Next in breath, flying plank. Next out breath, one-legged down dog. Inhale, right foot through, crescent lunge. Twist to the right. I know this one's tricky. Right arm down, sweep it in front and overhead. Hands down, down dog. Be here a moment. Remember the first time you ever did down dog in class? You're like, what am I doing? Or at least I remember thinking that. But notice how much stronger you are to hold this position and how familiar it is, since you've probably done it hundreds of times now. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, stay here. Inhale, flying plank. Exhale, down dog. Now step the left foot through. Coming up, crescent. When you're ready to twist off to your left. Left hand lowers. Bring both arms up overhead. Good, hands down. Step the back foot forward. Ardha Uttanasana. And then exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, let's bring it all the way to the top. Column of light. Exhale, hands to heart. All right, I'm gonna add another hip opener for you. Who asked for that? Oh yeah, that. Left hand to the hip. Around that left foot. Pick up that right knee. And then eventually open the hip. Ardha Uttanasana. In front. Right hand to hip. Shift your weight. Catch your left knee. Solidify your right leg. Open the hip. Ardha Uttanasana. Bring it back around and release. All right, hands on Mudra. I think we're ready for the pose. We're gonna do one more warm up for the pose. Inhale, let your arms flare up. Column of light. If you need to close your eyes to envision that, feel free to do so. I'm telling my son to do that. He's like, okay, mom. No telling what he really thinks, but this is gonna be a heavy month. This is gonna be a lot of action month, April is. Hands together and fold. Inhale, plank. And then drop the knees. Untuck the toes. Inhale, bring your right leg back behind you. Now you can keep it at hip height if it disrupts your SI joint, say, for instance. You can also create more of a back bend. I'm gonna keep my leg more straight. But then on the out breath, we're contracting and curling it. Inhale, head up, right leg back. Exhale, contract and curl it. This contracting of the core is something we're gonna need for baby crow. One more. And then land the right one. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale, contract your core around your upper back, nose towards the knee. And then continue that process, not going too quickly. Remember, it's body mechanics, but it's led by the breath, so there's synchronicity. When you're done with that set, not everyone can handle this position with their knees, and I'm understanding of that. So if you need to come to a cross-legged shape, that's all right. All right, baby crow. I haven't done this pose in like 3 years until yesterday, because I forgot about it. And then I remembered it because I wanted to work with the forearms, but I didn't really want to invert. You know, so I was trying to think of something else we could do, and this pose like flashed back in my mind. So, you know, crow, just to give you a visual, is this arm balance here. So we're going to be trying baby crow on forearms. If you're not up for that challenge, you can do cat cows on your forearms again, no big deal. Or you can go into dolphin pose on your forearms, which is, my boyfriend's fairly new to yoga, and he was like, so what's the difference between dolphin and down dog? We did both poses yesterday. The difference, dolphin, the only difference really is you're on your forearms versus your hands. Because it's still in that similar shape as down dog. So you could do one of those two as an alternative, but it looks like this. Here you are on your forearms, and you're wanting to get your knees somewhere on your upper arms. There is pressure, it is uncomfortable. I've never bruised myself, and I bruise easily, so I don't want you to be concerned about that. I know each person's different though. And then we have to overshoot the shoulders. See how I'm bringing the shoulders past the elbows? And then I tuck the toes to bring the feet here. And the face is off the floor. And the toes point to lift. I shouldn't have flopped down like that. It didn't hurt, but it's not a very graceful way to exit. So basically just bring one foot down and the other to come down softly if you don't want to walk out like I just did. We'll try it. So it is shoulders overshoot, because remember, lots of times we're bone stacking. But even in crow, we're not bone stacking, because look, I'm going way past the hands in order to find that fulcrum of balance. So here we're shooting past the elbows. Yeah, that's it, Kim. And your face stays up, yep, like that. And then just contract that core. There you go. And the toes point. And you kind of hover there. That's it, Amanda. Now we're pointing toes, but you got it. You got it.
I think crow's easier.
Yeah.
That was hard.
If you want to do regular crow, it's okay.
I guess it's not familiar.
Yes.
Do this one more time.
Okay. On the forearms. Oh, by the way, we didn't do all the measurements, because you guys I know are more experienced, but the idea is, imagine a block is in between. The block would be in the face's way, but you can always measure putting a block between your thumbs. And then make sure your elbows aren't splayed out wide. The toes tuck, you overshoot the shoulders past the elbows, the face hovers, you balance. And then points and flex, or point, yes, into the plantar flexion through the feet. Yeah, that's it, you got it. You're much closer to the ground, which makes it a little less fearful for people to fall out of an arm balance. And so it lessens the fear factor, but it amps up, I think, the uncomfort factor, because maybe you're not familiar with it. I feel like there's more pressure on the arms in the baby crow versus the regular crow. But of course, you can play around with it and see for yourself. Is that fun? Better than feathered peacock for today, at least. Because we're still feeling a little bit of that human energy, or at least I was yesterday. All right, let's come down to our backs. And we're just gonna hug the knees in. So that was our peak pose for today. And just let your arms splay open. Keep your knees drawn in. And then let them swirl off to the left side. Close your eyes like you did at the start of the practice. Calling in upon your breath, even though you're lounging the pose. Focus on the breath fluctuating up and down the right side of your body. Try to limit the fluctuations occurring in your mind. And the reason for that being, if you look at the first 3 verses of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, the first verse says, now we come to the teachings of yoga. The second verse says, yoga is the lessening of the fluctuations of the mind. It's the lessening of the whirlpools of emotion in the body. And the third verse says, and now the seer is able to abide in oneself. And so we have to do the practice, and we have to lower the voltage of the mind in order to be able to experience firsthand the Atman, the soul. And the soul is the observer of it all. It's the piece of you that observes the mind, the piece of you that observes the body, the piece of you that is observing the world without judgment. In a neutral place of bliss, just taking it all in. Not being swayed one way or another, not being opinionated one way or another. It's that aspect of simply being present and simply being. Inhale, tuck the knees back in, and then exhale, roll the knees off to the right. Maintain the practice, even though you're in stillness. Inhale, draw through center. Plug the knees in, just to reset the back after the twist. Apanasana, wind release pose. Very good for the inner organs. When you're ready to find your positioning for Shavasana, a deep rest at the end. Feel free to use your bolster. Feel free to cover a blanket. Feel free to shield your eyes. Feel free to move to a wall if that's your preference. The essential point of understanding yoga is that all activity of the mind is just a product of matter, distinct from the soul or the true self. So think of the body as being like hardware, and the mind being like software. And both of those would be completely useless if there wasn't a conscious observer. The soul within is that conscious observer. And the point of Shavasana, and we talked about this with our series, The Glaciers, when we were talking about the fear of death, the fear of change, the fear of the unknown. Shavasana was created, corpse pose was created to be a meditation upon death, not in a morbid way, but in a factual way. An experimentation kind of way, to have the time to go within, to do the contemplative work, and to discover you are more than mind and body. Tune into that infinite part of yourself now. Observe your breath.
deep in the flow of our breath. And wiggle the fingers and toes. Drawing the knees in. Rolling to one side. Coming up to the seat. Bringing your palms together to prayer position in your heart. Since I mentioned the first three sutras, I'm going to chant the second one that pretty much defines what yoga is. Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga is a lessening of the thought fluctuations of the mind. Yoga is a lessening of the agitation of the body. Yoga helps to neutralize the whirlpools of emotion. If you arrived into the state of yoga, the challenge before you is to operate from this centered place, from the state of yoga as you go throughout the day. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I just want to let you guys know this coming Saturday, I'm subbing for Maria. I'm subbing both the Blissful Flow and Yin, and I haven't taught on a Saturday in Franklin since the pandemic, so I'm excited. And then Sunday, I'm going to be back. Is that right? Yes, the 10th. Yes, Sunday, I'm going to be back. Our monthly restorative is going to be a little bit different. We are going to get some restorative yoga, but it's a themed calling in the angels. We're going to talk about 4 or 5 different angels. I'm going to tell you about them, what they're known for, how to call them in, how to use them. And we're going to talk about angel numbers. We're going to draw an angel card at the end. So it's a little bit different for this month, but it's like the perfect month to be calling in the angels. So I hope you can join me for one of those.